Ursa is the Latin word for bear, and all bears are classified in the family Ursidae. Bears may look a bit like dogs, but they don't act like dogs. Bears prefer to be alone, unless it's a mother bear with her cub. Bears share many features with other kinds of animals. This is because they have the same designer. God created all the animals and used similarities in design when creating them, just like the way all the pictures of a particular artist look similar. Unlike dogs, bears are able to stand on two legs comfortably. They also sit with their legs straight out in front of them. Also, unlike dogs, they are plantigrades. Can you guess what that means? Think about a similar word you learned in the previous lesson, digitigrades. That word refers to animals that walk on their toes. Plantigrades are animals that don't walk on their toes. They use the entire bottom of the foot. Monkeys, raccoons, and rabbits are also plantigrades. Do you know what many bears do during the winter? They sleep. Because of this, some people say they hibernate, but that's not true. When an animal really hibernates, its breathing slows down a lot and its body temperature lowers to a point where it's almost the same temperature as the surrounding air. Bats hibernate like that. Bears do not. After filling up with what they can eat from spring to fall, bears retreat to a special den and lay down for a long winter's nap, living off their body fat the entire time. Because their breathing and body temperature decrease only a little during this period, we say that bears experience dormancy during the winter. Dormancy is a state of temporary inactivity or a long, quiet nap. An animal that is truly in a state of hibernation, like a bat, is not easily awakened. A bear, however, is quite easily awakened from its winter's rest. A mother bear can even give birth to cubs during the dormancy. The nearly hairless cubs snuggle up next to their mother bear, keeping warm in her thick fur. Mother bears are very protective. Never get between a mother bear and her cubs. Brown bears. There are several types of brown bears, including grizzly bears, Kodiak bears, and Mexican brown bears. Although they are called brown bears, they do not always appear to be brown. A brown bear's fur can come in many shades of brown, from cream to brown that is so dark it appears to be black. The best way to identify a brown bear is to look for a large hump above its shoulders. The hump contains muscles that allow the bear to dig effectively. Did you ever have a teddy bear? Well, you may not know that the American black bear was the inspiration for the original teddy bear. In 1902, President Theodore Roosevelt was in Mississippi to settle a border dispute. While there, his hosts took him hunting, an activity he was known to love. However, the hunting was so poor that his hosts captured a female black bear and tied her to a tree. They tried to get President Roosevelt to shoot her, but he refused to shoot a helpless target. An editorial cartoonist, Clifford Berryman, read the story and drew a cartoon about it. After this, little stuffed bears were made and called teddy bears, after Theodore Roosevelt. American black bears are the most abundant bears in North America. If you do happen to see a bear in the wild, it's probably a black bear. It might be hard to tell it from a brown bear because American black bears are sometimes very light brown colored, and brown bears can be so dark they look black. To tell the difference, you can look at three things. First, Remember that brown bears have a large hump on their back, and black bears can have a hump as well, but it's usually small. Second, black bears have larger and less furry ears than brown bears. And third, a black bear's face has a rather straight profile, while a brown bear's profile has a dip between the eyes and the snout. Finally, if you look at the tracks, you can see that a brown bear's claws are longer than those of a black bear. The black bear's short claws make it an excellent climber, while the brown bear's long claws make it great at catching slippery prey, like salmon. Black bears are smaller than brown bears, which is sometimes the best way to tell them apart. Polar bears are black. I know that doesn't seem right, but it is. Their skin is black, which allows them to soak up as much warmth as possible from the sun. Over that black skin, these bears have clear, air-filled hairs that appear whitish yellow. This helps them blend in with the snowy surroundings of their Arctic habitat. They are one of the largest carnivores in the world. Because grizzly bears and polar bears sometimes have overlapping territories, they have been known to mate, producing grizzly bears. Sun bears are slow, sleepy bears about the size of a large dog, making them the smallest bears on Earth. This is why they are also called dog bears and sometimes kept as pets. They are omnivores, mostly craving bees and their honey, termites and worms. Sun bears extract their food from holes and crevices with their long tongues. With their sleek short hair, they are perfectly suited for the tropical forests of Southeast Asia where they live. They are usually black in color with golden faces and a golden sun shape on their chests. Being nocturnal, they spend most of the day in trees, stepping in the lower branches and eating the fruits that grow there. Giant pandas are adored by most animal lovers. These creatures are probably the most docile bears in the woods of China, that is. Pandas seem so endearing with their little black ears perched high on their furry white heads. I mean, just look at them. Perhaps it's the panda's droopy eyes set deep inside their sloping black patches that make it so adorable. Although these bears prefer bamboo, most people, and probably you, will be surprised to learn that they will eat other animals too. Just like any other bear. Giant pandas are slow creatures, so when they eat meat, they usually choose grubs, which they find under the ground. When eating bamboo, the panda uses what looks like opposable thumbs. This is rare because most mammals don't have opposable thumbs. However, you have them. This just means that your thumbs can move around and be placed around your fingers to help you grab things. The panda's thumb is actually just an extended wrist bone, so it's not really a thumb. However, the panda uses it like an opposable thumb, grasping bamboo between the thumb and its claws. It can strip the bamboo shoots of its leaves. And that's all we know about bears. What can you remember?
That's all, folks.